Good afternoon, family, and welcome back to my channel. This is Intimate Conversations with Francis O'Brien, healing one heart at a time. How are you guys doing? It is a beautiful Sunday. Oh my gosh, like I had to wait. What time did I get back from church? I think I got back at about 2.5 hours ago, and the noise from my neighbors was crazy. Like they were blasting music and they were sitting in the balcony and having a good chat, and it was just crazy. So I had to wait, to get a silent episode. I can't wait to get proper equipment and to, have a proper studio set up where if I want to, record, then I don't have to worry about that. Worry about the sounds and all these disturbances and feedback that may happen in my video. But anyway, it has been a beautiful week, a beautiful week. It was my birthday on Thursday, the 18th of July. So I share a birthday with the famous and the late Nelson Mandela. I'm very proud to share a birth date with this man, and I hope that I pray this is me wishful thinking. I pray I get to a point where, well, I pray I live a life that is celebratory by the time I pass on, and I've left a mark, and people can remember me for the mark that I've left just the same way he did. I'm not equating my life to his, but I'm just saying that I hope and I pray that God uses me, and I'm able to make the 18th of July a trend and as influential as I possibly can. But yeah, what have you guys been up to? Did you have a good week? It's been so cold. This weekend has just been crazy, crazy cold, and I've been stuck clad in quotes, and I absolutely refused to do chores at all this weekend. I just didn't care. I thought, you know what? There's no health inspectors coming around, so I can kind of get away with a bit of a mess, you know what I mean? So maybe next week I'll buy a cake and I'll do a cake mukbang with you guys. And we can have a chit chat and just relax. Perhaps I won't even talk about anything other than just general talk and see how you guys are doing. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel so to make sure that you don't miss out any episode or any video that I upload on Intimate Conversations with Francis O'Brien. Okay, I don't know what the post was about, but I just felt like I had to say it. Whatever. So yeah, Sunday I went to church. It was beautiful. It's one of those messages that you get to hear now and then. And today's message was, it is never too late. So basically meaning you can start anything at any time in your life, and it's never really too late to start whatever it is that you want to start in your life. So yeah, before I get too carried away, perhaps I should get straight into the detail of the video. Today I'm going to be talking about a very interesting topic, which is something I can relate to. I Google over the internet and try to get as much information as I could just to share with you guys. And by the way, my nails are ratchet.com. I broke a nail at work. I was doing a lot of stuff. So if you see me waving my hands around, you're like, is this girl not shameful? Does she not know that her nails look ratchet? They look ratchet, honey, so get over it, because I'm going to be using my hands a lot, so just get that out the way. So yeah, today I'm going to be talking about gaslighting, and extensive videos I've been researching over YouTube and Googling over the internet as well, and there's a lot of research that has been done, especially on gaslighting. And I didn't even know there was a term called gaslighting until I bumped into it on the channel of the pastor that I watch, which is R.C. Blake's Jr. So if you guys want to catch more information, particularly on this pastor, he is a well of wisdom. And I always talk about him in almost every video. And Pastor R.C. Blake's, I hope at one point you'll get to listen to my videos. Thumbs up to you for giving me the confidence for me to be able to express myself and be able to, and many other YouTubers from Fumi, Desala Vault, Missy Lynn, or Missy Lynn Says, I think it's Missy Lynn Says. Then there's Time the Infamous, she's a makeup artist who also inspired me to do my makeup. So there's a lot of YouTubers that I follow. B Loves Life, that's another really influential lady that I bumped across, I think almost a year and a half ago. And I've been really enjoying those videos. So a lot of these people have given me confidence and courage to, record the kind of content that I'm doing at the moment. So let's talk about gaslighting. If you see me flashing, I'm going to grab a paper, because that's where some of my notes are in terms of the topic that I'm going to be, or the conversation I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be glancing a hell of a lot because I'm worried about the reflection on this eye. So I do apologize if, you see a bit of, perhaps I should change how I sit. Does this? No, it doesn't, It's just awkward, to try and get the right angling. So, and I can't even look down. It looks weird. Whatever, let's just get into the detail of today. So let's find out what gaslighting is in the first place. Now, I like this topic because, as usual, I relate to it. And I know that as I talk about this, there's a lot of women that I know are going to be impacted by this. And I believe in finding a topic and then expatiating on it, and is by relating it to my life. And some women may not know that what they're going through is actually gaslighting or manipulation of some sort, or they don't even know that they're in relationships with narcissistic individuals. So I feel that it's important for me to really share this information with you. And like I said earlier on, I didn't even know that there was a title called gaslighting until I bumped into R.C. Blakes Jr.'s channel, and he was talking about gaslighting. And I'm like, is that what I went through for all these years? That's what I went through. It was called gaslighting. Wow. But they are 11 warning signs of gaslighting. But before we get into the signs, let's talk about what gaslighting is. And I hope this video this week is not going to be as long as some of my other videos are. Although I tend to really like talking about my content or my topics extensively and making sure that I don't miss anything out. But I'm not perfect. I'm human. I make mistakes. So if there's anything that you feel that I've left out, please feel free to, type it out in the comment section below. And I'll be sure to respond as soon as I can to you guys. But without further ado, let's get into it. What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is a manipulation tactic used to gain power. I'll repeat. Gaslighting is a manipulation tactic used to gain power. Gaslighting is a tactic in which a person or an entity, in order to gain more power, makes a victim question their reality. It works much better than you think. Anyone, and I repeat, anyone is susceptible to gaslighting, and it is a common technique of abusers, dictators, narcissists, and cult leaders. It is done slowly so the victim doesn't realize how much they've been brainwashed. And for me, this is the part where I will say I relate to this. And I think the world in general, media tends to gaslight. Politicians, I believe, tend to gaslight the masses. That's another form of gaslighting. So it makes you question your reality. It makes you think that you're actually losing your mind. It makes you panic for things that aren't really there. Like when what's that gentleman? Is it a former governor, Al Gore, if I'm not mistaken? Correct me if I'm wrong. Where he was going on about climate change and global warming and stuff like that, and it all turned out to be a facade. Now that is gaslighting because it makes you question your reality. It makes you think I've got limited time on Earth. It makes you think that the Earth is overpopulated, and space is going to run out for human beings to live. And there's this whole conspiracy theory that there's going to be a whole, mass type of eradication of people in order to have more global or more population control and stuff like that. It just makes you panic. It really makes you panic. So in my relationship, I was gaslighted the majority of the way. And I remember that in the last topic that I covered, I talked about how a narcissist uses gaslighting as a tactic to control their victim. It's a form of, when I talked about how they make you question your faith and your beliefs and stuff like that, everything that you ever grew up believing in, when you come across this individual, they make you doubt whatever it is that you've ever grown up believing and knowing for a fact, and they feed you with such information, and they somehow come up with warped facts, and they seem quite, watertight. And you fall for this, and you think, okay, this is probably the truth, and what I was raised to believe is actually a lie. That's what abusers do. That's what narcissists do. That's what gaslighting is. It questions your reality. It makes you feel that abuse is normal, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's spiritual, whether it's mental abuse. It just they wrap you up in a world and make you feel like your reality is not a reality. You are living some kind of a dream, and whatever it is that you've been living, it has been a lie, and they will introduce their lies to make you feel that their lies are a reality. Basically, that's what a That's what gaslighting is talking about. And it takes time. It takes time for you to know that you're actually being under the influence of gaslighting. It really takes time. You can never tell because it takes part in small conversations, in little arguments, in disagreements, in in verbal, what you call this, back and forth that you may be having with your partner. It's a really, for me, you must be twisted. You really must be a twisted individual if you can take the time to gaslight somebody. Sometimes these people know that they're doing this. Sometimes they really genuinely don't know because they have been raised in that reality and they feel that that is their world. And when you are around them, if you aren't strong enough, particularly in your faith, and if you aren't strong enough intellectually or emotionally or mentally for that matter, if you aren't strong enough, they can actually impose their beliefs on you. And before you know it, you are living the life that they have lived and it feels absolutely normal to you. And you begin to disown, to turn your back on, or renounce any kind of faith or belief system. It makes you denounce everything that you've ever believed. It makes you renounce everything that you've ever known, even though it is true. Somehow you're influenced and you feel like whatever you were taught is not the truth. What this person is teaching you is the truth. So let's get into the 11 warning signs of gaslighting. Number one is they tell blatant lies. I experienced this. You know, when I don't know, women, we have a gift, and it's been spoken over time that it's one of the instincts that God has given us. And we know when we are being lied to. We absolutely know. You feel it, you see it sometimes in the person's face, you see it in their speech, you see it in their body language, and you can just tell that you are lying. You are absolutely lying. And you absolutely know that it is an outright lie. And the shocking part is the fact that they tell you the lie with a straight face. That's the tactic. Them telling you with a straight face almost convinces you that what they're saying is true, is the truth, and it's actually hogwash. It's infuriating. I passed this many times. Perfect example. Your partner is cheating on you. You see the evidence. It could be the phone calls, it could be SMSs, it could be, as graphic as it is, you could find a pack of condoms in his pocket. And oh, oh my God, I have to share the story with you. It's crazy. I have been trying to get this hair flat and it's been working on my nerves like the whole time. But anyway, let's get into business. I remember I found a pack of condoms in my partner's pocket. And I asked him what the condoms were. This was the excuse that I got. Like I said, the purpose of me sharing these stories is to really empower women and to never doubt themselves. When you hear rubbish, when you hear BS, call it to order. Don't entertain it, don't accept it, don't justify it. Because we do that as women, all in the name of love, all in the name of peace, because we don't want to spark an argument. Despite the fact that we know somebody is actually really just absolutely talking nonsense, blatant nonsense. So anyway, story is, I'm doing laundry, right? So I bump into his jeans and I find a pack of condoms. Now he is not in the house. And you know what it's like when you find condoms, ladies, in your man's pocket? You are absolutely crazy. You're running mad and you're thinking, you've got a plethora of emotions. How could he do this to me? Is this for real? Is he really having an affair? Perhaps it's not his, perhaps somebody else's, or perhaps maybe he's having an affair and he hasn't really gotten to sleeping with the woman. Maybe he was about to sleep with the woman, or maybe the woman put the condoms in his pocket just to make sure that I find the condoms so that we can fight and they can break up and they can be together. Justifications galore. So anyway, I asked him when he eventually came home, and women, you know what it's like when your man is not around and you can't wait and you've played out this conversation in your mind. This is how it's going to be. This is what you're going to say, and you're expecting this response, and this is how you're going to retaliate. And it never works out like that 99% of the time, because the blatant lies that will come will either stun you to silence, will either shock you to disbelief. Oh, they'll make you question your sanity. So anyway, I asked him, like, hey, bruh, these condoms that I found in your pocket, could you kindly explain and tell me What's up with these condoms? Where are they from? Why do you have condoms? Who is the female, etc., etc.? It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're asking me too many questions. Whoa, just chill. Let me tell you what it is. You know, I was actually at the barbing salon and I was gonna get my hair cut. And then I saw this box of condoms, and the barber was just giving all the guys, in the salon. And it's like, hey guys, I got some free condoms, from the government. And, I just thought I should share with you guys. And so I just grabbed some. And I'm like, you did what? So in my mind, I'm playing a scenario of in my mind, I'm playing a scenario of his barber opening this box. And like, here you go, bro. Here you go, bro. Here you go, bro. Here you go, bro. That was in my mind. So first of all, I was irritated by that vision of nonsense that I had just played in my mind. The stupid mini movie or that scene that I had played. So I'm like, so if he was dashing out the condoms, why did you feel the need to grab a pack? What do you need condoms for? Because you and I, when we're together, we're not using any condoms. So why did you get a pack? I just thought I should take, and then maybe if I bump into my guys, I can give my guys some. Because my guys are so reckless, and they like having unprotected sex. So I just thought maybe let me grab for my guys. And I'm thinking, are these guys toddlers that they don't know at this day and age that you have to use condoms, especially when you're having a multitude of affairs? Can you not use protection? What makes you the guardian? What makes you, the godfather? What makes you the Don? What makes you Father Christmas? What makes you play God and be dashing out condoms? He's like, yay! He turned it around. It became an argument. Just because I took condoms, now I'm getting blamed for it, etc., etc., etc. And the difficult thing was, the condoms didn't come in a pack for you to know that this pack is like a 3-pack, a 6-pack, a 9-pack, or whatever. It's those government ones that come in really long strips. So you never know how many were actually there for you to calculate how many were used. That aside, it's a blatant lie. You are clearly taking condoms because you're having an affair and you've been caught at it, and you're using this nonsense of distribution by your so-called barber just to promote safe sex because you are an imbecile and you don't have a brain. And you never thought, he's like, but Francis, then this is how he turned it around. Francis, do you think I'm dumb to have an affair and put condoms in my pocket when I know I'm staying with my woman, because I know my woman's going to do my washing and she's going to find those condoms in my pocket and she's going to give me problem? Do you think I'm that dumb? I knew that you're going to find those condoms, so I had a reason. That's why I'm telling you. Do you see how it turned around? It completely turned around. Do you know why I'm laughing? I'm laughing because I'm at peace and I'm really happy that I absolutely have no one in my life at this moment ruining it. I'm free from all the nonsense. I'm free from all the lies. I'm free from all. I can tell you a string of scenarios that I got. The other episode that I got in terms of lies is I didn't cook supper because I was tired of coming from work. And normally when I come from work, I used to leave the time when I was doing radio full time. I used to leave at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd come home at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So I had really, really, really long days, more than 12-hour days. So if I didn't cook, there would be an episode. So he'd fight. And in my mind, I'm thinking, but I'm tired. Why didn't you cook at least? Then this is the excuse. He would go and get a cooked meal from God knows where, and he would bring back the lunch tin. Now, ladies, you know how we are with our Tupperware. We are very stingy with Tupperware. We are aggressive with Tupperware. Oprah Winfrey is aggressive with Tupperware. If we borrow anybody our Tupperware, we want our Tupperware back. So point is, I'm relating the story. Don't worry, I'm landing. So I don't cook. He goes out, he comes back, he's got a plate of food. Or a Tupperware lunch tin with food, packed nicely for him with all the veggies and the starch and, the protein and the meat and stuff like that. And I would ask, why did you go and get food when there's food in the house and you could have made for yourself? No, I'm tired. It's a casual conversation. I'm like, okay, but who gave you food? And why would they give you food like that as if you're a homeless person? I don't get that. And this is during the week, so it's not like it's a party where when you go for a party, and you get extra food. And besides, they have those foam packages that people give you at some parties, or they have like old ice cream lunch tins. where people will just pack extra food in those luncheons if it was a party. This is during the week, so party excuse does not fly. So he was like, no, it was actually my friend. It's a guy, you don't know him. I never knew any of his friends. Every time there was an excuse, no, you don't know the guy. So clearly he was friends with the entire nation and I had no idea. So he came back and I asked him, but why would your friend dish you food, a guy in Tupperware? Guys don't care about Tupperware. It's chicks that care about Tupperware. It's like, oh no, it's actually his girlfriend who has a Tupperware. And the girlfriend said, she actually shouted at me because I know how you women are like, and she asked me to give you back the Tupperware, to bring back her Tupperware, etc., etc., etc. So how that's what flew. You know that's a blatant lie. You have a girlfriend and you obviously told her, my woman didn't cook. So she's like, oh, shame, honey, come, let me give you a meal. And then you went there and you had a puppy face and then she's like, oh, shame. And then she dished food for you. You had the audacity to bring the luncheon back and keep it in a fridge. Blatant lies. So that's gaslighting tactic number one, blatant lies. Praise God for deliverance. Number two, they deny they ever said something even though you have proof. I don't know, ladies. I've lived this life before. You know, when you get to a point where somebody makes you feel like you're mad, they make you feel like you heard something else. And I've talked about this before in my previous video. They make you feel like you didn't understand what they said, and then they completely twist their statement around and they give you proof for them having said something they never said, if that makes sense. And it gets to a point where you feel like every time you talk to your partner, you must have a voice recorder or you must put your phone on record so that every time you guys have a conversation, you must record. So that if any time you guys ever squabble about something that was said, you can always play back and say, you see, this is what you said. But that's not a life. You shouldn't even be living a life like that. But I promise you, some of these brothers out there push you to a point where you feel like really having a recorder because they will deny anything that they've said. Say, for instance, you ask some, like I said in my previous video, where you say, well, you guys have a discussion about what you want to do and how you're going to do it and when you're going to do it. And then you conclude it's done. When the time comes for the thing to be done, no, but that's not what we agreed. I actually said that I was going to do it on such and such a time. And I'm like, no, that's not what you said. You said you were going to run this time because this is what. No, 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 no. Remember, this is what I said because remember when I said the statement, there was a knock on the door. And true, there was a knock on the door. Probably the neighbor knocked or if a visitor came in. And you know that the visitor came in and they said something which interrupted the conversation. Now it forces you to think, okay, maybe I didn't hear right because we were kind of distracted by the neighbor. But I distinctly remember us concluding that it was going to be done like this, or we concluded whatever it is we're discussing at that time that it was going to be done in such a way. But they absolutely deny it. Gaslighters absolutely deny it, and it makes you start questioning your reality that maybe they never said that thing. And the more they do this, the more you question your reality and you start accepting theirs. So basically, it's going to be they turn it into an argument to the point that, no, you never listen when I talk to you. You see, that's a problem. You're always distracted. That makes you feel like you must always pay extra attention every time you guys have a conversation. And you're like, yeah, I want to make sure that I hear this time so that if ever this backfires, I want to make sure that I understood it very clearly. It's so unfair. It's so unfair how people can just be so evil and manipulative in that way because now it makes you very uncertain every time you guys have a conversation because now you feel that that person must orchestrate the conversation all the time and you mustn't have input because when you have input, it tends to be twisted. And whatever conclusion was made was not made. That's what they make you feel. So number two is they deny they ever said something, even though you have the proof. Number three, they use what is near and dear to you as ammunition. So I'll give you an example. They know how important perhaps your kids are to you, and they know how important your identity is to you. Now, before I expatiate on that part, in the previous video, I talked about how my mothering skills were dissed, where at a point I was so tired and I just needed a break, and I was guilt tripped on that to say, yeah, How does a mother get tired of their own kids? You should be ashamed of yourself. Where I come from, women never ask other people to look after their kids. I'm like, that's crap. That's total crap. Because women get maids. Even husbands can get helpers or au pairs for their wives because they can see that their wives are completely overwhelmed. So they guilt trip you on that, and they use it as ammunition to make you feel like you're a bad mother. And for me, in terms of identity, I will say that when you know that you live your life in an upright manner, and you're a no nonsense person, and you live by specific morals and principles that guide you in your life. Say for instance, you guys want to do something and there's a shortcut to it, and you are not a shortcut type of person, and you guys don't end up doing what it is that you had thought you were going to do, and you take the long process, but the shortcut would have worked, maybe wouldn't have worked. But because you're not a shortcut person, you decide to take things the right way and the long way, and it doesn't work out. Yeah, you see, I told you should have done it this way. My way would have worked, and stuff like that, and stuff like that. Even though it works or it doesn't work, you're still guided by your principles and your morals, and that's how you live your life. You're governed by them. But they make you feel that your principles and morals and values are completely substandard. They actually are irrelevant. So they make you feel, they use that ammunition against you to say, if you weren't so holier than thou, or maybe perhaps you're talking about a friend who has practiced some kind of infidelity, and you're not the kind of woman who may stray. Next thing is like, yeah, you think you're holier than thou. We know you women go and you play, certain games on the side, and you act like you don't do that stuff, and you guys cover your stuff up so quick and so good, and we can never catch you people. You guys think you're clever. And you're thinking, excuse me, don't use that against me. Don't you dare use that against me and blast me for it just because I don't believe in what everybody else thinks is right and I don't do it or I don't practice it. Don't use that against me. So that's what they do. Sometimes some of these are things that they attack. They attack your parenting skills. They may even attack maybe your money saving skills, to say, yeah, you're always saving money or you're always spending money and we never have anything, which is not really a good example. Good example may be you're saving money and you've got a specific thing that you'd like to purchase, or you've got a holiday or whatever it is, trip that you've planned, and you've saved money, and then now maybe the kettle busts in the house. The microwave doesn't work, and then next thing you're like, that's not important. If I want to warm up my food, I've got a pot and I've got a stove, so I don't need to get a microwave to heat my food up quickly. Yeah, you're such a miser. I don't even see the reason why you don't buy the microwave. After all, it's a very cheap thing. The funny thing is they won't buy the microwave. They will blast you for saving money and not buying the microwave again, simply because you're saving money for something else. They'll guilt trip you on that. Oh my goodness. So they use what is near and dear to you as ammunition. Or say, for instance, maybe you're with your girls. I'm trying to think of different, scenarios that you guys can perhaps link, what you call this, you may be able to resonate with, so that you understand that gaslighting is not a good thing. It's not healthy for your emotions. It's not healthy for your spirit. It's not healthy for your mind. It's the most unhealthy state that you could ever be, to be in a relationship with somebody that constantly gaslights you. Say for instance you're with your girls, and your girls, maybe your partner knows that your girls are the kind of on the wild side, and maybe you're not. So say for instance on a Friday night you really go out, but on this one night you go out and then you come back late. Whether you did or you didn't tell your partner is irrelevant at this moment. Just work with me on the point. When you come back, yeah, you've changed. These wayward friends of yours are turning into something that I don't know. And you're like, I just went out for drinks and I didn't do anything. You're making it look like I slept with the whole community. Are you for real? Yeah, that friend of yours is this. And you get that argument. And because your friends are dear to you, you become so defensive. And and the more defensive you become, it makes it look like you're covering a guilt trip, which works in their favor, not in yours, which is so painful because you constantly have to watch what you say to these people. It's so unfair. And women, you need to be very careful. Sometimes it's not everything that you have to explain. You're a mature woman, you're an adult, and you should be, I'm assuming, living your life in a responsible way. You cannot allow yourself to be treated like somebody who does not practice common sense by somebody who doesn't practice common sense 90% of the time. So anyway, let's go back to let's continue rather to point number 4. They wear you down over time. As I said in the beginning, it takes time. You will not know that you are being gaslighted from the beginning. It'll start off with petty arguments before it heats up into the really huge arguments. It's a petty argument that'll start. And it takes time because every time they do this, it breaks you down a little bit at a time, because every time they attack you, you retaliate, you respond, you defend your honor, you defend the truth, until you get to a point where you get so exhausted. But I promise you, you won't feel it until you being months into the relationship or even years into the relationship, because sometimes the guilt trip you so much and you live your life trying to make this person understand that you didn't do what they're accusing you of, or you're not the kind of person they keep accusing you of being. So it's an insidious type of approach or characteristic about gaslighting when they weigh you down over time. It's little lies, it's derogatory comments, it's belittling comments, it is sarcastic comments, it is a snide comment. Even the most bright, most self-aware people can actually be smoked into gaslighting. Believe it or not, if it is that effective, or rather it is that effective. You know what it's like, where they always say that expression that, but this woman is so powerful and so influential. How the hell did she end up with that kind of guy? That's the part. Excuse me. That's the part where I look into a relationship a lot deeper, because now I begin to look at the guy in a different light. Now, I'm not saying all relationships are like that, but it makes you wonder what kind of mind games and power and control that this man has over a woman that has a PhD. Like R.C. Blake says, your behind has been tricked by a brother with a simple matric or high school qualification or GED is doing this to a woman with a PhD or a master's or whatever it is. It's the most intelligent, sometimes even the most intelligent of women can be swept into this gaslighting thing. I'll give you a perfect example, women. You're a well-to-do woman. You've got your cars, you've got your houses. You get this guy, and he has really nothing to write home about. You give him your cars, you give him your credit card, you clothe him, you house him, you give him your car even. You do whatever it is to make the person happy in the relationship. Before you know, they're practicing control. Here's the flip. This is what I used to experience. Because I had a car, my ex didn't have a car. So at the time when I wasn't working, fuel used to be an issue, because every time I would get a little bit of money and I put fuel in the car, I would want to make sure that there's fuel in the car, because if my son at the time fell ill, I wanted to make sure that I have fuel in my car or gas in my car, so that I would go to the hospital should an emergency arise based on my son's health status at the time. So he would take the car, park it, and leave it flashing on reserve. And when I wake up the following morning to run an errand or two, I find it's on reserve and he hasn't put fuel. When I go back in the house, I'm like, bruh, like the fuel's on reserve. Why haven't you put any more fuel? Yeah, no, I didn't have money. Yeah, but if you didn't have money, why did you take it? No, it's because I thought where I was going to have money to put in the car. This is the part I'm like, yeah, but the next time, please don't do this, because I can't be putting fuel to fuel your trips. We have a child. It would happen a second time. It's like, yeah, it's because I'm driving your car. That's why you're talking to me like this. Where I used to be before, I used to have a very comfortable life. I had many cars. Just because now I'm down and out doesn't mean you should talk to me anyhow. It wears you down. It makes you feel guilty. Then you're like, no, it's not that. I was just saying it. No, I don't want to hear it. Whatever. Just because you have a car now, you're feeling all high and mighty. No matter how much you explain to these people, they'll still make you feel bad. They'll still make you feel bad. No matter how much you are trying to reason with them, you will never win with a gaslighter. You will never win. So that was number 4. Number 5 is their actions do not match their words. Let me give you a perfect example. Ooh, ladies, you're going to love me for this one. Perfect example. Their actions never match their words. You know, girl, you know how much I love you. You are my wife. You are wife material. There is no woman. All these women outside are just ratchet women. They don't do it for me. You do it for me. I will marry you. I'm just waiting for me to get the perfect opportunity where I'm saving money and I can marry you. 1 year, 2 years. You'll ask, but babe, what's happening? Yeah, you know, things are not working out. You know, I'm not hiding anything from me. Things are working out. Things are good for me. Sometimes it may be true. Sometimes it's not. Year number 3. Year number 4. Year number 5. Your raggedy ass is still waiting to be married. And it seems to be such a continuous lie, and you're not even aware how much time is passing. Mind you, it's not like you're going to be having this marriage conversation all the time. Life happens, issues happen, family members fall sick. You either lose your job or you get a promotion or you get transferred. So things are happening between children changing school, children are born, children get sick. So many things are happening in between that stretch over time. So you're not going to be talking about the marriage thing all the time. You're going to talk about it when you kind of, hey, come to think of it, didn't this guy say, hey, babe, listen, like, time is flying. Hey, don't come and stress me. Then it begins to be an almost aggressive. No, 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 no. I'm not pressuring you, but my family is asking questions because I don't understand how we can be dating so long and nothing is happening. So I just wanted to find out. Yeah, I told you I'm working on it, all right? Don't stress me. Reenactment. Their actions never match their words. When dealing with a person or entity that gaslights, look at what they're doing rather than what they are saying. What they are saying means absolutely nothing. It's just words, it's just talk. What they are actually doing is the issue. And ladies, most times we are so swayed by what we hear, not what they do. And as a result, time passes and we're not even aware that time has passed because we are holding on to words. We are holding on to dreams. We're holding on to paintings. We're holding on to facades. We're holding on to mirages because they've been painted ever so nicely. You know, Van Gogh, Michelangelo, they have got nothing on these brothers. Picasso has got nothing on a painting that these people can paint for you. I'm laughing because I've lived that, and it's just so sad, and it's just incredible how many women pass through this kind of thing. I'm a victim of it. I've come out all the wiser. A lot of talk show hosts have talked about it, from Steve Harvey to Oprah to Iyanla Van Zandt to motivational speakers like Tony Gaskins to Stefan Labossiere to, oh my gosh, Tony Evans, the pastor, R.C. Blakes has talked about it. So many people have talked about, especially men, that you should hold on to what the man does, not what the man says. It is very important. And I've been burnt twice, so I know that lesson very clearly. When a man says to you, I'm going to marry you, I promise you, give him a specific amount of time, especially the older you get. And when he doesn't leave, women, there's a time where you need to just, you know what? Drop it like it's hot and say, you know what, this is not working, I need to bounce. If this man really truly wants you, he's going to do anything and everything in his power to chase after you and say, babe, I'm sorry that I took so long, perhaps I took you for granted, and now I'm going to fix things, or now I've fixed things, rather fix things when he comes back. I have fixed things and I'm ready to have you in my life and come back. Sometimes some guys just take it for granted. Your silence to them means it's okay, she's not saying anything, that means we're good. Hello, we're not good at all. My behind needs to get married. My behind needs to start a family. I can't be stuck clad with one guy and my family is asking, well, when are you guys going to get married? And I'm the one who always has to come up with excuses because your raggedy ass is never asked questions. Number 5, their actions do not match their words. Number 6, they throw in positive reinforcement to confuse you. This person or entity that is cutting you down telling you that you don't have value is now praising you for something you did. This adds an additional sense of uneasiness. And you think, well, maybe they aren't so bad. But yes, they are, because this is a calculated attempt to keep you off kilter. And again, to question your reality, also look at what you were praised for. It is probably something that served the gaslighter. This is so rich. I'm trying to find a perfect example. As I said, I'm always going to base it on me. You know, babe, why is it that when other women do 1, 2, 3, and you do it, your stuff never works? That means there's something you're doing that's not right. I'm thinking, what is it that I have done? No, man, when other women try to hustle, their stuff goes through and your stuff doesn't go through and stuff like that. That means you're not serious. Or when we talk about stuff, you don't care about me. But when other women discuss with their husbands, they go and do it and their stuff works. That means you don't love me, you don't care about me. Why am I even in this relationship, etc., etc., etc.? That's the bashing down part. Then, next thing, maybe you go and actually, I don't know, get a loan to make this person happy, which is what I did. You get the loan. Oh my goodness, you shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have. I mean, this is absolutely unnecessary for you to have done that, but I'm so happy you did. You're so great. I'm so sorry for everything that I've ever said to you in the past. And you're thinking, you're only praising me because it's actually worked for you. Had I done something and it backfired again, I don't think I'd have been in your good books. So you're dissing me because I didn't do it that time. Now because I'm doing it. You know, it's like when a gaslighter says to you, please can you do 1, 2, 3? Either you're resistant to do it because you know that you're the one who'll suffer the consequences or the repercussions, or they will ask you to do something and you blatantly refuse to do it. Yeah, you're not a submissive person. You're not a submissive wife. Other women are submissive to their husbands. When their husbands tell them 1, 2, 3, they listen. You don't listen. People like you can never get married. And you're thinking, oh, excuse me, is that a curse? How can you talk to me like that? Like, how can you talk to me like that? Then when you eventually do the one thing that you know you are going to pay for, allow me to humor you. This is the loan part. Oh my God, you're the world's most amazing woman. You know, what would I do without... Oddly enough, you're actually very impressed with that one compliment. That means you've completely bashed yourself and written yourself off for all the other stuff that he's done. You're literally agreeing that you are useless for all the stuff that you never did before. Because you are so, you're so brainwashed with this one compliment. You think, yes, I am Wonder Woman. I have performed signs and wonders. I am Mary Poppins. I'm sorry. I can get to laugh now because it's really sad what some of these brothers do to our women. It's really sad. It's really sad. Number 7 is they know confusion weakens people. Now, this is a tactic of politicians. This is why I really don't like politics. Because, politicians are very wordy people. And being wordy is very exhausting to listen. It's very heavy on the ear when somebody is wordy. Gaslighters know that people like having a sense of stability and normalcy. So their goal is to uproot this and make you constantly question everything. And humans' natural tendency is to look to the person or entity that will help you feel more stable. And that happens to be the gaslighter. Let me give you an example. As usual, most of the points I will be giving examples. This is what I call, for this point, they know confusion weakens people. I call these kinds of people, and excuse my language, shit stirrers. You know those kinds of people, you're a peaceful person. You guys go out for drinks and stuff like that. Next thing, an argument, ensues at a bar. And when you look over, damn it, it's your dude. And when you get there, you now happen to take over that fight because you come in like a referee trying to separate these two in terms of their verbal argument before it gets to a physical fight. And it's like, no, but why? Before you know it, you've actually taken over this person's battle, which is your man's battle, that he actually started. And then let me give you another example. Father, I thank you for experience, because with all the different examples, I know a lot of women have passed through this kind of stuff. And a girlfriend of mine, actually a colleague of mine, were actually sharing this kind of story. Perfect story is, as women, we don't like, when our car busts, we don't like going to a mechanic. It's really annoying because we always have this fear that maybe because I don't know anything technical to do with the car, I may be taken advantage of because I'm a woman. So let me be very careful in terms of what I say or what I discuss with the mechanic so that he doesn't take advantage of me. Then you throw your man in. Right. So say, for instance, with the car, your man, the car busts or breaks down, and then you take the car to the mechanic. The mechanic gives you a quote. Your man comes, discusses it with you. Next thing, the car's fixed. Now it's time for payment. Your dude doesn't have money to pay. They now have an argument. And the mechanic won't give back the keys for the car. Then a fight starts. You as the chick, you get dragged in. What are you guys arguing about? The mechanic's like, yeah, he said he was going to pay me, and this was not the agreement that we had. This. Then your man is like, no, but you're lying. This is not what we said. You quoted me for something that's not even there. You fixed something I never asked you to fix. Now you're charging me more money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, on the charging me more money part, you must bear in mind, some men are very crafty, very crafty. He may literally have calculated this entire scene with the mechanic to increase the amount from what he came back initially from the quote to discuss with you, just so that he can kind of, sponge money off of you or take advantage of you. And let's say a quote was like $100 or 1,000 rand. Now he's going to tell you the quote is 1,500 rand or $150. You would trust your man because you're like, he wouldn't, cheat me. He wouldn't do that because he knows what my financial standing is. Meanwhile, it's something that he's worked and calculated with the mechanic to say, yeah, I'm going to act like I don't have the money. So when my woman comes, she'll pay the money, then you and I will split the excess. I've been there. But that's that aside. So now you're the one taking over the argument. Okay, like how much is it? Yeah, no, my money is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you cough up the money. But at the end of the day, you're the one who's now patching the relationship between the mechanic and your partner because they just like creating that confusion. So your partner, because of his lack of being able to pay the debt, would rather create the confusion for you to come and take over that battle, and he can simply walk out and watch you as you actually squirm and swim your way into debt. Gaslighting. When you get home, you're so mentally exhausted from calming, from this verbal diary that you've had with this mechanic, and now you have to get home and have another conversation to say, but what exactly happened between you and the mechanic? Didn't you guys discuss this, etc., etc., etc.? Oh my God, that's what you call a shit stirrer. Or a comment is passed, and then the person backs off and then leaves everybody else to get into a heated argument when they know darn well that they're the one that planted the seed that has caused the chaos that is ensuing at that particular point. It took me a while to figure out that my ex was like that. It took me a while. And at one point, I actually did tell him that you are a really you're a horrid human being. You are a really evil person to be a shit stirrer. Because that means you literally have nothing to do with your life than to get people embroiled in fights and get so worked up. And it's absolutely amusing for you. Oddly enough, as much as they're shit stirrers, you'll still go back to them, you as the woman, and go and ask for comfort from them. It takes a degree of exposure to that person to study them. That's why in the other videos that I recorded, and I said it's important for us as women to really study our partners. You must know your man, and you must know when you're played, and you must know when you're being manipulated, and you must be strong enough and confident enough to back off when it's no longer healthy for you. Let's get on to point number 8. They project. They are a drug user or a cheater, yet they are constantly accusing you of that. This is done so often that you start trying to defend yourself and are distracted from the gaslighter's own behavior. Give you a perfect example, another one. Francis, you're such a beautiful woman. Are you telling me when you walk in the malls or in the street, no guy like talks to you and tries to court you on the road? And I'm like, no, don't lie. You can't tell me when you're taking a stroll down the street, no brother stops and asks to give you a lift to take you wherever you're going. No, genuinely, I mean no. Unbeknownst to me, my nigga on the side or my brother on the side is doing the exact same thing. My brother on the side is doing the exact same thing that he is accusing me of. So what they do, they project to you. When you come home late, you went to see a man. That's the reason why you're coming home late. You went to see a man. When they do it, they don't want to get caught. So what they do is they study your behavior and things that you may do, which are out of the norm, which are very rare. But because of that, you get accused for doing things that you know you're not doing. And the gaslighter, I promise you, knows you so well. They know you're not doing it, but they want to create that, that scene in your mind to make you feel so guilty for either having spent the night out with your friends or spent a night at a family member's house, or you going out for a family gathering and having fun. They will turn it around and say you never went there, you actually went to a man's house, and a friend of mine actually saw your car parked outside a 123 place, and you're thinking, what? Then a whole argument ensues. So basically they project what they do onto you. Be strong enough to call it quits, ladies. Never be afraid to walk away from something extremely toxic. That is extremely toxic. That is toxic. And it's so low, it's so immature, and it's such an unmanly and insecure thing that a man can do to accuse you of something he knows darn well you're not capable of doing, but because he's doing it, he will rub the guilt off of you, so he'll project what he does on you. Be very careful, ladies. Number 10, so we're 2 points down. They tell you, they try to align, actually number 9, I do apologize. They try to align people against you. So gaslighters are masters at manipulating and finding the people they know will stand by them no matter what, and they use these people against you. They'll make such comments as, this person knows that you're not right, or this person knows you're useless too. Now, I can't say I relate to this point. I'll tell you why. I'm a very confident and I'm a very assertive woman. I am not validated by the opinions of people, especially because I know who I am. So let's say we're having an argument and I'm being accused of something, a third party gets dragged in, and then, a comment is passed or an accusation is mentioned, and then 2 of them will now gang up on me and say, but Francis, maybe you shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, excuse me, first of all, you're an outsider, you were not there, and you don't know what I'm talking about, and you don't know what this argument is, so you do not have the power to say anything, and you cannot take sides of something you don't know anything about. That was how I used to approach it, and I would never be swayed by that. But sometimes you get guys who will come back, and because, or I'll say they get people to side against you, is because they're trying to make you look like the bad guy all the time. So how they do this is when they go out and meet outsiders, they will feed outsiders the wrong story about you. By the time the outsider comes, they're forming their opinion based on the history that your partner has been feeding them about you, which was never true. You need to be strong enough to fight for yourself and say, I am not going to stand for this. And first of all, you have got no right to actually voice any opinion in this particular argument. I'm not in a relationship with you. I'm in a relationship with this person, and I have a disagreement with this person. You shouldn't even be involved. That's a few isolated cases. Sometimes if an argument gets heated and, your partner wants to get out of the way, yes, you need to be protected. Then yes, a third party should come and kind of, calm the situation. Those are few instances. Sometimes, these men will just, typical situation is when your man is having an affair and he goes to his girlfriend and he tells his girlfriend that, yeah, my woman or my wife at home doesn't cook and doesn't clean. Next thing, maybe an argument happens, or you bust the 2 of them together in a car or at an outing or whatever, and you have the right to question your partner and say, but what are you doing? Who is she? Next thing, you will hear the female saying, you don't have anything to say. You don't know how to take care of your man. That's where you think, okay, where's that comment coming from? because you can't pass that comment if you haven't been fed information. That means you've been told something and you're now throwing it back at me. So the first person you should look at is not even the person, the little side chick. The person you should be focusing on is your partner, to say, why would you tell this person so and so, if at all it is even the truth? If at all it's even the truth. Never allow a third party to gang up with your partner and make you feel small. Never allow it. Stand your ground, especially when you know you're the right one. Stand your ground and say, I'm not going to take this, and you will not make me feel small, and you will not have people gang up on me on something that they don't know. Perfect example. Perfect example. When I split up with my ex, there was some statements that I passed to him which shook him, but he didn't understand where I was coming from. And quite frankly, at that stage in our relationship, I really didn't care what his thoughts were based on whatever it is that I told him, because half the time he'd misconstrue it and interpret it in his versions just so that he could work himself up, and I would leave him to work himself up. I promise you, I never cared. So he posted something on Facebook, and I got over 100 comments of people calling me very evil, vile names, and they knew absolutely nothing about me. They knew absolutely nothing about me, and they were calling me names. And I promise you, by then, I could have picked up the phone and say, how dare you? But because I had walked out of that relationship and I didn't care anymore, I'm like, these people don't know me. They don't put food on my table. They don't pay my rent. They don't put gas in my car. So whatever their opinions are really irrelevant. They mean nothing to me. So I didn't care. But that's what gaslighters do. They gather people against you to make you look like the bad guy. Number 10, they tell you or others that you are crazy. Now, I would like to believe that that's what he used to do to other people in terms of my story, that he used to tell people, kind of, screw loose. Now, this is one of the most effective tools of the gaslighter because it's a dismissive tactic. The gaslighter knows if they question your sanity, people will not believe you when you tell them the gaslighter is abusive, out of control, and it's a master technique. It's a master technique of pure evil. Pure, solid evil, deep-rooted evil. I mean, it's so painful for you to do that to somebody that you claim you care. But this is the part where you know that a gaslighter does not care how you feel or does not care what you think. I'll tell you a perfect example, as usual. When the gaslighter knows if they question your sanity, people will not believe you when you tell them that the gaslighter is abusive. They have a very calm, very manipulative demeanor about them. These people typically act like demons in the house, devils. Né? Very, very, very abusive, abrasive, brash, loose-mouthed type of people. But when they go outside, they're so calm, they've got so much wisdom, so much common sense, and they're faith-filled. And by the time you tell these people, you don't know who this person is. I know this person. This person is not who they say they are. The gaslighter turns it around and says, no, actually, it's the way you are. You're not calm. You're very irrational. Look at the way you're behaving now. The reason why you're behaving that way at that time when you're telling people that he's the one who's abusive is because you are so overwhelmed and you are so shocked at the amount of pretense. It is so infuriating. It is so infuriating that somebody can pretend to such a degree to make people feel that you are actually the villain in this entire story. Meanwhile, they are the master puppeteer, or master puppet master, however you want it. It is angering. I can't tell you, man. It's so angering to watch somebody. I'll give you an example. Everybody used to say, oh, your ex is so quiet. He doesn't look like an irrational kind of guy. The person you're talking about, hey, the one we see is not that kind of person, so we don't understand what you're saying. At my son's first birthday party, God, you're good. Thank you for delivering me. Thank you for delivering me. At my son's first birthday party, He had bought a fancy camera, video camera, and he wanted to record. So he put, you know, in complexes, they normally have like clubhouses. So that's where if you don't have like a large enough type of living room or get together, which most complexes really don't have or apartments don't have. So there's a general clubhouse which has got a swimming pool. So it's open to everybody. You just have to book the day when you want to do whatever function it is. So a lot of people would obviously, when they're hosting their own parties or kids' birthday parties, they would book that clubhouse within the complex. So it had a kitchenette. And in that kitchenette, it had cupboards. And in that cupboard, that's where he hid the camera. But he never told anybody. Unfortunately, somebody found that camera and stole it. We don't know who. Now he comes to me and he asks me, you know, he is so irate. And he's like, where's my camera? And I'm like, what camera? And I don't ask me a stupid question. Where's my freaking camera? And I'm like, bro, I don't know what camera you're talking about. And oh, you mean the new one? But where did you put? Mind you, he's asking me on a day where I'm busy with preparations for the party. I'm running around with the decor. I'm running around with the food. There's a lot of things that I still have to prepare for because people are going to come. And you're asking me this, and I don't even know where you put it. So I'm like, I don't know where you put it. He's like, I swear, if I don't find the camera, all hell will break loose. Right? So he's like, no, you must help me. I said, I can't help you look for the camera now because I have to attend to the people that have come to help me organize the party. I cannot do this. Please, can you ask somebody else? Maybe you can ask my brother or whatever to help you look for the camera, right? They looked for the camera high and low. They didn't find the camera. The camera was gone. Now it came to my turn. There was something I was looking for that I couldn't find. And I went to him and I was like, hey, babe, sorry. I'm looking for something. He's like, I don't know where it is. So basically it was a revenge tactic on me. Since I didn't know where his camera was, he didn't know where it was, even though he knew what I was asking him. He knew where what I was asking him was. I looked up and down. I couldn't find this thing. I went back to him. I said, please, I don't have the energy. I'm really tired and I need to get this party running now. Please, could you tell me where this thing is? Do you know what he did? He actually came close to my ear and whispered right in my ear and said, the thing you're looking for is in my ass. You guys have got no idea how much it took for me to be composed and have a straight face after having heard that. Now, that is what I'm saying to you ladies, that this is what they do one-on-one, but they have this very calm demeanor when they meet everybody else. And when you tell the everybody else what this person is like, they will never believe you. They will absolutely not believe you. They will not. They will not. And that's how the gaslighter makes other people think you're crazy. It's only after some time when a lot of things have happened in your relationship, or maybe when you break up, the truth surfaces and everybody will see the gaslighter for who he truly is. But by then, the damage is too late. People have lived an entire number of years under the wrong impression on you. And chances are you're the kind of woman who's not so wayward to go out and be talking and exposing your life and talking about all the things that you do in your household. If you were brought up well, you were taught that all the affairs of the home are kept in the home. You only had to tell very few people that you can count on one hand whatever was happening in your home, if at all you even told anybody. So you can't go correcting everybody and saying, no, it's not that, it's not that. You'll just leave people, and people will unfortunately buy into that assumption that you really are a crazy woman. And finally, they tell you everyone else is a liar. I lived this one. Okay, let me expand on this one. By telling you that everyone else is a liar, meaning your family, the media, it again makes you question your reality. You've never known someone that with the audacity to do this, so they must be telling the truth, which is so true. You know, when you, hey, yeah, Francis. You know when you know something and you know it for sure and you can prove it, you've got factual proof. Which when I'm saying factual proof, because proof is factual, I'm just putting emphasis. You know when you know something and you can prove it. Somebody comes to you and tells you something in such a straight face. You're shocked by the audacity and the boldness with which they use to give you that statement or to make that statement, that you begin to question what you already know, despite the fact that you actually have proof. And you know the truth deep down. You question everything. You question everything. No. And you begin to believe what this person has said because everybody else is lying, and this person came and told you dead in your face, everybody else is a liar. For instance, your person is having an affair. Typical example, which I'll give you. People will come and tell you, do you know that your man is unfaithful? Do you know your man is cheating on you? And you're like, what? And you begin to believe it. And you've got proof. Chances are you've got proof because you'll dig into it and you'll eventually find it. When you confront your partner, babe, I promise you they're just jealous. Don't even listen to those women. Those women don't even have boyfriends. They're very jealous of you because you have a man. Be very careful, Francis, about the things that you listen to from other women, because some women will definitely break your home. Especially that friend of yours, XX and X. Oh, you must be very careful because that person talks about you behind your back. And you're like, you were stunned for days because they use boldness to come and tell you that. Despite the fact that you know that your partner is a philanderer, you will completely discard that truth. It'll fly out the window over your head. And they'll make you feel like your friends are liars. And it makes you now doubt your friends, and it makes you distance yourself from your friends because you've bought into the illusion that the gaslighter has planted in your brain that your friends are jealous of you. And it's a lie. That's it, friends. It's just unbelievable. And I've passed all of this. It's so sad. Sometimes, like I said in my previous video, I really felt like I was in a relationship with somebody with so many personality disorders, and I've said it repetitively that I'm not qualified to actually diagnose a person with this, but deep down that there's something wrong with this person. There's really something chronically wrong with this individual for the way they think, the way they talk, the way they behave. Let me give you a rundown quickly on the warning signs of gaslighting. Number one, they tell blatant lies. Number two, they deny they ever said something, even though you have proof. They say what is near and dear. They use what is near and dear to you as ammunition. Number four, they weigh you down over time. Number five, their actions do not match their words. Number six, they throw in positive reinforcement to confuse you. Number seven, they know confusion weakens people. Number eight, they project. Number nine, they try to align people against you. Number 10, they tell you or others that you are crazy. Number 11, they tell you everyone else is a liar. I pray once again with every video that I upload that God visits you women in your relationship. And if there's brothers out there that also have women that do this, it's not a healthy relationship. Don't even get it twisted. It's unhealthy. It is just toxic for your spirit, your mind, your heart, even your body, because what makes your spirit hurts your body. It hurts your health. It hurts your mind. It hurts your functionality. It hurts your creativity. It hurts the people around you because you morph into something else because you've been so affected by this individual in your space. It's just so many factors, so many issues. Gaslighting is a very powerful tactic. The media does use it. I'm not even going to get into that. The media does use it for obvious reasons, whether it's to instill panic into the population, the general population, whether it's to create a mindset or a false hope in something. Whoever it is that does it has a reason for doing it. I will always say, before you react to something, take a seat. Take a step back. Have an aerial view of the entire scenario before you make a judgment. Excuse me. And that even goes for your partner. Don't fall hook, line, and sinker for something that your partner says. Don't do it. Don't. Preserve your heart. Even the Bible says, guard your hearts. And I know God says you must guard your heart because what guards your heart ends up govern. If you don't guard your heart, whatever goes in governs your life. It governs your life because what you believe becomes a reality. I hope you were blessed by this content. As I said in the beginning, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. just to make sure that you don't miss any video that I upload. I pray by the grace of God that the story, my story, that I have encountered or that I have lived, and as I share it, that it empowers, it awakens, it helps people make informed decisions, bold decisions about becoming a better version of themselves. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you are empowered, and I hope it helps you to make very informed decisions, and it helps you become a better version of yourself. Well, without further ado, I'm signing out now, saying thank you so much once again. This is Intimate Conversations with Frances O'Brien, healing one heart at a time. Have a wonderful week and stay blessed.